Learning should be hard, and you're about to find out why that's actually a good thing. This is The Science of Learning by the Mac IntroPsych team. The current state of learning is funny in a not so funny way. You're expected to learn without being taught how to learn, and expected to adapt as you progress. But does this really make sense? If the goal of education is to promote lifelong learning and resilient knowledge, why then are a majority of students turning to strategies that promote exactly the opposite? Rereading notes, highlighting, and cramming have all shown to be the most popular yet least effective methods of studying. Why? Well, simply because they feel good. These strategies promote content fluency, which is a person's ability to rapidly answer or recite material in the short term, following massed or crammed practice. But this doesn't translate into the long term. To study effectively and promote long term learning, instead, apply these three principles. 1. Recall, generating content from memory without cues from the answer. 2. Elaboration, moving beyond definitions to connect and or explain ideas to others or yourself. And 3. Distribution, spreading out learning through time or topic. These can be remembered as RED, RED. Okay. That might seem like a lot, but now that you have the fundamentals, which remember are recall, elaboration, and distribution, RED, let's apply them to some scientifically proven study strategies. As you've hopefully learned from your Dunlawski 2013 rating, practice testing is the most effective study strategy. Pause this video and try to think why this might be. If your answer involved recall, an elaboration, or any sort of deeper learning, then you were correct. When designed properly, as the IntroPsych pre-quizzes have been, cough cough, tests make you bring previous concepts to memory and connect them in an integrated manner. This is why students who lead weekly quiz discussions perform better than those who listen. They have an opportunity to recall and elaborate further on the material. So besides that, other testing methods worth considering are PeerWise, an online peer testing software that you all have access to, or even physical/digital cue card construction. Remember, the harder that you have to think about creating or answering a question, the more it will stick in your memory. Before we move on to study timing and spacing, I want to provide you with two new study strategies that show empirical promise. Cognitive psychologists call these elaborative interrogation and self explanation, but they're a lot simpler than they sound, I promise. Elaborative interrogation is explaining why a concept is true or is the way it is, and self explanation is similar in that you explain why you made a certain decision when solving a problem. These techniques require a bit more evidence, so I won't go into them too extensively, but do remember that talking to yourself when processing study material helps improve retention, especially within interconnected concepts like you might find within a psychology course. Wink, wink. And probably the most important lesson for you to take away from this video is space out your studying. One of the most robust findings in learning psychology is that distributed studying leads to wildly increased middle to long term retention. This means that instead of massing or cramming your studying into a single night, you should instead commit the same amount of time into short little bursts over several days. You can similarly apply this concept to individual unit studying through interleaved practice, where instead of studying all of Unit 1, then 2, and so forth, you study chunks of each in a rapid rotation. The uniting theme is to distribute your learning across time and to interleave your study topics within each other. Here is a brief content summary. Recall, elaborate, and distribute, RED, are the three principles behind effective studying. Next, three study methods worth using are testing, elaborative interrogation, and self explanation. And finally, you should distribute or spread both your studying and topics out. So, you have what you need now. But before you go, here are a few questions that you won't find anywhere else to truly cement your learning. 1. Sarah is studying for her upcoming chemistry midterm. As of now, her strategy has involved two parts. First, to solve the presented question and to then elaborate upon her thought processes. And two, to move between problem types after completing each question. Based upon what you just learned, what strategy and spacing method is Sarah using? Pause here to answer. If you answered A, self explanation and interleave practice, you are correct. Sarah elaborated on the processes that she used to solve the problem. This is called a self explanation. And then for the second portion, spacing method, Sarah used interleaved practice by interleaving the different units or topics in with each other. And here's a final question for you to think about. It won't be answered in the video. I want you to sit down for 5-10 minutes and seriously think about it. If you were to create an optimal study strategy based upon what you've learned for the upcoming IntroPsych quiz term, what would you do to help yourself succeed? Think distribution, interleave practice, testing, all these key things we've talked about. This is now something you can use in the real world. So go use it. I promise, I really do, that it will pay off. Anyways, this has been the Mac IntroPsych team signing out.